Hello, and welcome to Postcards 16. No theme today. I just thought I'd get out some cards and show you. Start with the most modest, which I think is rather charming, actually. This isn't, as you can see, a postcard, but it is a bit of advertising for young lady Katie Solohub. She's an artist, painter, and teacher, and comes from Shoreham-on-Sea. So if something along these lines is of interest to you, I'm sure you can Google her without me giving her publicity, which she hasn't asked for. But I just thought it was so lovely to have a little card like that. Here we have something of a more ambitious nature. Both the subject matter and the card. Here we have the walking lady. Now, I've got a confession to make. I have a number of confessions to make. When I was in Exeter, I think last year, maybe the year before last, I don't know. I was under the impression that this statue should have been in the grounds of the cathedral, Exeter Cathedral, but it wasn't. Well, I know she's walking, but I don't think she's walked all the way to Salisbury, because in fact this should have been in the grounds of Salisbury Cathedral. It's The Walking Madonna by Liz Frink. I looked Liz Frink up, and her dates are 1930 to 1993. And this is a photograph by R.J.L. Smith. And his studio is in Shropshire, it says here, if you want to follow this up. She's obviously walking as to war. And I must have seen this, so heaven knows why. I thought it should have been in Exeter. But there we are. I have great affection for Exeter, so perhaps it was just wishful thinking on my part. Here's a lovely little card. Dear Nellie, letter received with my thanks. I'm glad to know you have been enjoying yourself, and I'm hoping you will be able to come through soon, as I should be pleased to see you. Jochen has been including the house and hopes to come here and stop for a fortnight. But the beautiful music they played, some tune over and over again. Willie has several monkeys to remind him of them. That's nice, isn't it? He is wishing they were coming back. I am not hoping you are all in the best of something. I am not hoping. I am not. So, sorry. I am not, full stop. So, in other words, she's wishing that the monkeys don't come back. Hoping all in the best of health. Sincerely. I can't read the signature. This was posted in Clydebank in Glasgow about 120 years ago to a Miss Muir who lived in Edinburgh. So it didn't have that far to go, did it? And I think it's perfectly charming. There it is. Here's a card that may be of similar antiquity. Two sailing boats. Let's see what we can get out of the front. On the river. Two sailing boats, and also by moonlight, and also some guys here. Possibly could be up to no good, but I don't know. It's a Valentine's series. Doesn't mean to say it's a Valentine's card. I don't think it is. Dear Jimmy, I was so sorry that I did not send you a card before, that you know that I will forgive me. Know that you will forgive me. I do not know if you are collecting cards, I suppose. I have got over 40 of the places that I have been to down something. I shall soon be close to you. And again, the signature is a bit obscure, I'm afraid. This is sent to a Miss Durrant, care of Seal & Co., Strand Green Road, Finsbury Park, London. The writing on it is very ornate and comes through pretty strongly, doesn't it? It's obviously written in fountain pen. I can't imagine it that in that era biros were exactly plentiful. In fact, there probably weren't any biros with them. Once again, without going into rave reviews, I do think that's a very nice card and could be framed with no shame. Now here's something else which is completely different. This is a modern card, but its subject matter is far from modern. This is one of the most idiosyncratic, if that's the right word, or even if it isn't, cards or museums that I've ever visited, and I've visited my share. This is the Pip Rivers Museum in Oxford. It says, view of the museum looking down at the court from the lower gallery before the glass panels in the roof were covered up in 1975. They have a lot of very weird things there from the Pip Rivers travels. So it's shrunken heads and shields and more shrunken heads and bits cut off animals and taxidermy and any amount of woeful stuff. Not really my sort of thing, but they sold some lovely cards, so I got several. Here's a card which isn't a postcard because it's got, I've shown this before, commissions undertaken. It says this little it's like woodcuts, actually. I think what they do is they start with a photograph like that and they work it up to this. Ceramic tiles. That's rather nice. So you can get a ceramic picture of somebody, like me probably, which in its time would look all right, wouldn't it? Ragu fired wall hangings. There you are. There's the contact details on the back if you're interested. I've no idea who they are. I just picked up the card. Here we are. It was recently spring forward for clocks, wasn't it, for the time? Well, here's a few clocks. These are the clocks of Winchester. And if you don't know where Winchester is, it's in Hampshire. If you don't know where Hampshire is, it's in the south of England. This is an atmosphere card published by Simon Newman. He's the photographer. It's part of the Images of England series. I think that's pretty good. It's got 9 clocks there. And I think that gives it would be a bit of fun to tour around and try and pick them off to try and find out. I think I recognize at least 1 or 2 of them. But you can have some fun going around, couldn't you? Either adding to that collection or finding out where they were. Now, I plead guilty to having rather liked this card. 2 young ladies. I thought perhaps they might be Kate Bush. Nothing of the sort, of course. It's a flyer with Bauhaus, Bowie, Talk, Heads, Twilight, Sad, Wire. In other words, it's the language I don't speak. There we are. Darklands. Now, my last card is also something for which I shall forever have affection. It's part of the National Poetry Day of Scotland of 11 years ago, and it's a poem from the collected poems of George Mackay Brown, and it is reproduced with permission of his estate. In other words, he has passed away, but his poetry, so to speak, lives on. I think that's rather nice. And it's part of the Scottish Poetry Library. I'm going to attempt to read it, but it probably won't work. In a finished house, a flame is brought to the hearth. Then a table between door and window where a stranger will eat before the men of the house. A bed is laid in a secret corner for the three agonies, birth, love, death, that are made beautiful with ceremony. The neighbours come with gifts, a set of cups, a calendar, some chairs. A fiddle is hung at the wall. A girl puts lucky salt in the dish. The cupboard will have its loaf and bottle come winter. On the seventh morning, one spills water of blessing over the threshold. So I think it combines certain ceremony and habit with custom. I think that's what they're saying, and it is called The Finished House. And I can repeat, it's by George Mackay Brown. And there it is, and it's the National Poetry Day in Scotland, where I'm sure, I'm not sticking my neck out in saying this, poetry is at least as important to the Scots as it is for the English. It's a nice card. I was pleased to snap it up. Well, there you go. This has been Postcards 16. No Gilbert and Sullivan, no Lord Wandsworth College, just a random selection from my collection. But I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much. I've been James Pratt.